What's going on, everyone? Welcome to a new video. I hope you're all doing good. In this video we're taking a look at some crazy battles I had in the Fossil Cup featuring my rank 1 Cradily and Lycanroc. So this isn't the spiciest team I've ever put together, but running double rock in this mount is pretty much asking for trouble. So yes, this Cradily is a rank 1 for Great League, one of my only rank 1 Pokemon. 0, 15, 15 are the specific IVs. This is running Bullet Seed, Grass Knot and Stone Edge. And then we're going to have Lycanroc as a safe swap. We're going to run Cradily in the back. The Lycanroc I'm using is actually from GBL Rewards. The IVs on it aren't the best, but it's the only one I could get into Great League, and I really want to use it. It's a 10, 13, 13, rank 1411, running the moveset of Counter, Psychic Fangs, and Stone Edge. And finally, we will have Shadow Swampert in the front. So we are very weak to Ferrothorn, amongst a few other things. But honestly, Go Battle League is beyond a joke at this point, so I put very little thought into this team. I just threw it together, but we still had some really interesting battles, so let's get into them. First battle, Registeel lead, absolutely perfect for the Swampert, so the opponent makes an instant swap out into a Shadow Poliwrath. We come in with the Cradily, we can one-shot them with a Grass Knot, but also they'll be doing massive damage to us with that Dynamic Punch, which we've got to look out for. But they will be able to outpace us, so we're probably going to have to eat a Dynamic Punch, but at this point I realise this is a rank 1 Cradily, we can tank this, and boom, look at that, easy money, taken like a real champ. So we are farmed by a couple more Bullet Seeds, and now we're going to go for another Grass Knot. Do they want to commit their second shield? They do not, so the Poliwrath goes down and we maintain that switch, so we're going to have alignment with the Registeel up against the Swampert. Not that it matters, because we've got two things that do well against Registeel in the back there, and they actually make a swap out into their own Shadow Swampert and snipe us. Okay, so now we're looking pretty sticky here, because obviously this thing's going to take out a Lycanroc with one Hydro Cannon, and it can do a lot against our own Swampert. So we managed to deny them a mud shot there when we threw the Psychic Fang, so that was quite nice. And now we're just going to look to catch the Hydro Cannon on our own Swampert here, as we will survive, and then hopefully we can just build up some energy before we can take out the Swampert. It looks like we can actually mud shot them down, which is absolutely perfect, just before they got to another Hydro Cannon. And now we've just got that Registeel in the back, so things are looking quite dicey here. We need to really get to 3 Hydro Cannons. We'll get off the first one and then let it go through, which is a nice call by them, but we're going to get to another one anyway, so they're going to have to give up that shield. Now, can we get to the third one? We're hanging on by a thread, and just with 1 HP, Shadow Swampert, we all know it's OP, takes out the tin can. Obviously, we get lag. This is GBL, of course, and that's not the last time you're going to see lag in this video. Oh no, I'm sure you know what's been going on with this piece of shit game. But we're just going to get into that a little bit later on, I'm sure. So into the next one, another brilliant lead with, once again, Registeel for the Swampert. So we make a swap out into Cradily. The second they bring in that Azu. Something that I haven't seen too often in the Fossil Cup, which is quite unexpected, because obviously this thing dominates the Great League usually, and anything that's involved with. So we'll go for the Grass Knot here. We did build up to 2 after they hit us with an Ice Beam, which did do quite a lot of damage. And unfortunately, we're quite silly there and didn't just get off our energy, because now we're forced to commit a shield. Look to build up as much energy as we can to offset that. But obviously, shields are quite important when your opponent has a Registeel, and we're going to build up extra energy that is going to be quite useless against that. Surprisingly, they gave up a shield, but we went straight for another Grass Knot. Obviously, they did not know how much energy that we built up there, and the inexperience with the counts undoing my opponent there. So we're going to go for a Stone Edge once. Oh, we're actually going to go for a Grass Knot. I think Stone Edge does more damage, but we just went for Grass Knot because it looks like we might actually be able to get to another one before they lock on us down. They actually choose to throw their energy, which is really, really nice. I would have just committed to the lock on down there, although we would have done quite a lot of damage to them before we went down. Now we come in with that Swampert. We know we can survive any of the moves they're going to throw just about, so we do decide to let it go through and put all our hope in the Lycanroc, but they actually have their own Swampert, so that may actually be a really bad call. So we go in for the Hydro Cannon, which gets the shield out of them. And then we made a big mistake. We went straight into the Lycanroc, but we're not going to be able to KO the Swampert, and they're already so far ahead on energy, they're going to be able to take us out. We should have thrown that second Hydro Cannon that we were almost at with the Swampert, and then we should have been able to farm down the Swampert from there. But then obviously the Registeel probably would have focus blasted us anyway. But as you can see, they're completely outpaced us, taking out the Lycanroc. Doesn't matter if we even get to a move with a Swampert. So we did make a massive cock up in that one, and we definitely should have thrown the energy from the Swampert. Would have given us a chance at least. Into the next one, pretty bad lead with the Jellicent. We're going to stay in here because obviously if we go into Cradily, they're going to swap out, and then the Lycanroc doesn't have a good matchup against this either. So we're going to stay in. We did call that was just a bait, which is a really, really nice call by us. And now we're just going to go for that Earthquake, expecting they may shield it up, which they do. Now we're just going to stay in here, probably just still build up to another Earthquake. Like I say, I want to get some damage off against this at least. But they go for another Bubble Beam, so that was quite unexpected. So then we're going to choose to make the swap now into Cradily, because an Earthquake wouldn't do as much damage. So we decided to bang that energy on the Swampert, and now we actually bait out the Ferrothorn here, which is a big problem for this team. After a few sets, I was like, oh crap, the Ferrothorn is becoming a real big issue. As you can see, Stone Edge doesn't really do much damage to Ferrothorn at all, and likely this Power Whip will be taking us out. We do survive because we are rank 1 Cradily, so we get off another Stone Edge, but it's only going to be chipping into the Ferrothorn. We just got to hope that we're able to farm down with the Lycanroc before they get to 2 moves, because we don't want to give up both our shields. And obviously our Power Whip is going to devastate us. So it'll be good to get this thing out of the way, hoping that maybe the Swampert can do something against that final Pokemon. We are able to counter them down before they get to another move, which is perfect. And they bring in Registeel, which is really questionable, because obviously they have the Jellicent still in the back there. So we're just going to go straight Psychic Fangs here and debuff the Registeel, and then just look to pound it into oblivion with the counter. It is recommended that you have Crunch for this league, but I did decide to just stick with the Psychic Fangs and Stone Edge. Maybe Crunch would have been better in this matchup, but I'm not too fussed. Now they make a swap out into the Jellicent, so we're going to go for a Psychic Fangs, and obviously this will be a matchup where we could really do with Crunch, but luckily it looks like we're just going to be able to get up to another one, which should probably get them quite low, or get the last shield out of them. And they do actually let it go through, which is quite surprising. Expecting them to take us out now, but with likely a Shadow Ball. And then we're going to come in with the Swampert. But we should be able to get up to 2 moves. And the Registeel is looking quite low. I don't think it's got any energy left on it. So off goes the first Hydro Cannon. And unless it's a CMP, we are going to be taking the win. So Swampert once again in the back, clearing things up with the Registeel there. Taking another win, this time from a lost lead position. So that's always nice to see. Going on into the next one. Let's see what we've got on there. We've got Skarmory this time. So it's a pretty decent matchup for the Swampert. We'll have to commit a shield to win, but we'll just be outpacing them to the Hydro Cannons. They're going to throw a Sky Attack just before we get to the back-to-back Hydro. So we're going to have to shield this up. It will do a lot of damage. It won't quite KO us, but the opponent actually makes quite a nice catch into Azumarill as we go for the first Hydro Cannon. So that was a really nice bit of play by them, but now they've locked themselves in against the Cradily. And we can just go for a Grass Knot, which will probably get them really low, but won't, it's not going to KO from this range. Obviously, we are completely defense weighted in this version of Cradily. They go for an Ice Beam, and it does quite a lot of damage considering. I didn't think they would put us down that low, but we are going to outpace them to the next Grass Knot, which I assume they're going to let go through, which is quite nice for us. And then we've got the Skarmory that's going to come back in, and we're going to be able to get up to a Stone Edge easy, which is going to do a decent amount of damage to the Metal Bird. So it does put them into the yellow, and then we make a quick fire swap into Swampert just to force the last shield out of them, or the Skarmory is going to go down. And then we should be able, oh look, tons of lag. What a surprise. This is new, isn't it? I think this is one of the occasions where it's for about a minute. We're completely frozen here. Absolutely no idea whether my opponent's getting any fast moves through on their side. But this is just a complete joke. We're on the Wi-Fi. I've got really decent internet. You know, what else do we need? This is definitely nothing to do with my connection. It's all about the game. We know this because it's happening to everyone. It's not just happening to people with budget internet. It's happening to people all over the shop. Gigabyte internet, you know what I mean? It's absolutely pathetic. This game is just such a joke. It's unbelievable. Going back into the commentary anyway, we've got another Swampert in the back there, so things once again are looking pretty hairy. We're going to have to shield this up. I think we should just be able to get up to the 2 Psychic Fangs. We did deny them another Mud Shot there, which is really crucial. Did we CMP tie it? No, we are going to be able to get up to the second Psychic Fangs. Is this going to KO though? This is the normal version, so it's a bit tankier. Somehow they didn't get off their energy. I don't know why. They definitely should have took us out there. We're just able to get up to another Psychic Fangs before they can get to a move with the Skarmory, but it shouldn't have mattered anyway, and that was an easy win. Maybe the opponent should have got off their energy at the end there with the Swampert, but the lag didn't cost us in the end, but that's one of the only times that it didn't cost me this week, because honestly, it's been absolutely terrible. There's been days where I haven't wanted to even play anymore because I just keep losing battles. There's also a glitch at the minute where you'll be awarded a defeat even if you win and you even get to the end of the screen, and for some reason it still just gives you a defeat. It says in your journal that you've won the match, but then you don't get the rewards for it. That's just classic, isn't it? So back into this one, we've got another Skarmory lead, so we have taken a shield each and we're going to outpace them, but we did try and catch on a Lycanroc, which was quite surprising actually, but we did get a Swampert out from that, so I'm not sure really what the benefit of that is. We're going to be able to come in with the Cradily and probably farm down with Bullet Seeds after they take out the Lycanroc here with Hydro Cannon. So definitely waiting for the switch timer to come down now, and we're going to bring in the Cradily and farm down. We can do quite well against the Skarmory, having that flying weakness neutralised by the rock typing, but we are going to take some damage by these Hydro Cannons, because again, we are rock as well as grass. So expecting him to come back in with the Skarmory, because obviously the Hydro Cannon, I might as well just call it Hydro Cannon. The Swampert is going to do quite well against the Skarmory, but they do come in with a Scab, so we hit them with a Stone Edge, and look how much damage that does to a Scab. Absolutely disgusting. We go for another Stone Edge here. and expecting them to commit a shield, which they do, and we already have Hydro Cannon loaded, but we should have just gone straight for it. We did one extra mud shot, and that allowed them to get off their energy, and that was pretty silly. But we're going to take out the Escav. Can we take out the Skarmory as well? They're going to get up to a move, I think, before we can get to another Hydro, but they are over farming because they need to take out the Cradily as well. So goodbye, Skarmory. And once again, the one they call the GOAT, the Swampert, takes the win. The whole team definitely pulling its weight. It's a lot of fun playing with these Pokemon until we started running into Ferrothorn every single battle. So into the next battle, we've got Poliwrath on the lead, Shadow Poliwrath. So that's not good for us at all. My opponent does actually make a swap out when we go one over the Earthquake and they catch it on the Jellicent, which is absolutely fine with me. We're now going to bring in the Cradily and look to Bullet Seed them down the whole way. We can easily tank a Shadow Ball. Cradily is thick, so we are definitely going to look to Bullet Seed down. Just able to do so before they get to a Bubble Beam, which is quite nice. And they bring in Ludicolo now, so that's quite interesting. None of our Pokemon want to see Ludicolo at all. Surprised they didn't actually keep this for the Swampert, but I guess they still do have the Poliwrath in the back there. So we are looking in a really sticky spot, really hoping they let this go through. They do shield it up, and we're not able to get to another Grass Knot before they actually Razor Leaf us down. So we're looking in a horrible spot here. We've got the Swampert in the back that obviously does not want to see this thing at all. So going for that Psychic Fangs, they do commit their last shield, which is nice. So we swap into the Swampert, and we've got to land an Earthquake now. But obviously the Ludicolo has got energy in the back, so we need to take this thing out and then threaten the Ludicolo. So we get up to an Earthquake, but we do choose to just throw that straight away without farming any extra, just in case. And now we just got to make it to a Hydro, but we're probably not going to do that. And now they're loaded with energy to go against the Lycanroc. And Ludicolo doing a number on my whole team there. So GG's to my opponent. Yeah, sometimes I just throw teams together. You know, I can't be asked to sit there looking at the Sims and everything for ages, working everything out. But sometimes you'll just start playing it out and you do come across these core breakers and you think, shit, I'm really weak to that one Pokemon. So if you keep seeing it, it's just going to do you in. And sometimes, unfortunately, you just keep on seeing it, don't you? So into the next one, Azumarill on the lead. And we'll go for the Earthquake, which lands for massive damage. They're really over farming, so we go for the Hydro Cannon now, hoping we can get the shield out of them with the lower cost move. And that always stings when you then have to give up your shield because you didn't call the right bait, and then your opponent gets there before you can get to the next one. So they throw the Ice Beam, and they were at max energy, so one more bubble and they get to another one. So we're going to match shields here because we're going to be able to outpace them to the Hydro. We're going to be able to win switch or get the last shield out of them. Let's see what they want to do, and then let the Azu go down, bring in their Whiscash, and guess what we've got? We've got Cradily, so that's going to say, hello, Whiscash. We do need to worry about the Blizzard still, but we're going to call that this is just a Mud Bomb here, and it is just the Mud Bomb. So we're going to go for Grass Knot, which is definitely going to get a shield out of them, unless they want to see the Whiscash get one shot. So they do commit shield, and we sneak through another Bullet Seed, so that's absolutely fantastic. They're not even building up to a potential Blizzard, so that does us a complete favour. We don't even have to worry about it. And now they bring in the Melmetal. So this is quite interesting, because obviously a Superpower is going to absolutely annihilate us, but we are able to get off a Psychic Fangs, which is lowering their defense. And Melmetal was very squishy in the Great League, so we're getting them into the red really quickly. We decided to let the Lycanroc go down. We're going to put all our faith in the Cradily, which is quite risky. Obviously, they're going to throw another Superpower, but now they're triple debuffed, so we should be able to survive another one. But we were obviously worried with the Lycanroc. If I committed a shield, they were probably just going to get to another Superpower anyway, so we had only one choice, which is to go with the Cradily. I'm trying to farm them down, you absolute melt. I've got 2 Grass Knots, and I nearly lost the battle there just by trying to farm down the Melmetal. But obviously, we're going to take the win after we realise they don't have any shields. So we just go for the back-to-back. Take out a Whiscash. Cradily, you're an absolute thick plant. I really, really enjoyed using it. It's one of the most fun Pokemon I've used in a while. I was really happy to see I had a rank 1 after the previous event. Really was not expecting it, and then when this cup come around, it was one of the interesting Pokemon I was looking at to feature. Yeah, it's really, really nice to have that. I have got a really good ranked Shadow for Ultra League as well. I think it's a 14, 14, 15. I think you need the hundo for that. So I probably will eventually build it, but I didn't really grind too much for that XL Candy while the event was on, which is a bit of a shame. So moving on back into the commentary, and it looks like we had a pretty good lead because we've got Cradily up against the Jellicent now, and we miscounted their bubbles or hexes or whatever the hell it was, but we cocked it up completely, and they hit us with another Shadow Ball thinking it was just going to be a Bubble Beam, so we didn't win the swap, but it doesn't really matter because they've got Ferrothorn, and neither one of the Pokemon really want to see it. We go for an Earthquake, which does get shield out of them, which is really, really nice. Going to have to swap into the Lycanroc now, and this is really not looking good for us. How we're going to pull this one up? So we're going to go for a Psychic Fangs and debuff the Swampert now. Really expecting them to let this go through, which they do, and that's not great for us. What are we going to do? We might be able to counter them down now. Let's see how much damage that did, that last counter. Yeah, we're going to be able to get through to the Ferrothorn, and we're going to go straight for a Psychic Fangs here. And I think they did one Bullet Seed before they swapped out, so we need to watch out for that. Are we going to try and catch? We actually throw the Psychic Fangs in alignment, so are they going to take us out here? Is this a CMP? It isn't a CMP, so we make the swap into Swampert, and that's actually caught the Power Whip, and they need to get to another one. Are we going to be able to counter them down? We do. I don't know how we won that, but we were able to pull it out with the Lycanroc. Absolute power. This thing is a beast. I really, really enjoy it. It's one of the cooler designed Pokemons in one of the later gens. So into the next one we go, and we had Pelipper on the lead. Not really good for the Swampert. So we make a swap into Lycanroc because we don't really have the best answer for it anyway. But we could threaten them with the Stone Edge. So it does force them to swap out now into a Riolu, which is fine because we go straight for that Psychic Fangs. We debuff them, and then we counter them down before they even get to a power-up punch. So that was quite a bad call by them to let that Psychic Fangs through. And now they bring in Registeel. So this is fantastic because now we've got the alignment. We're going to have that Swampert matched up to the Registeel, and we're going to have the Cradily in the back there for the Pelipper. So now we're going to go for the Psychic Spams. So yes, Psychic Spam. So we're going for the Psychic Spam, and we are actually able to get them quite low here because that lock-on is resisted because we are Rock type, which is resisting the normal type in. So we're actually going to take out the Reggie. They were forced to make this swap now, and then we're just going to come in with Swampert and just do some chip here. Because we know the Cradily is going to be able to mop up, but we'll try and start putting on the shield pressure, just make it a little bit easier for the Cradily. We're able to tank a Weather Ball quite nicely. This isn't the best IV Shadow Swampert. I mean, it's still a decent one, but it's not actually in the top few hundred. But it still took that move quite nicely, actually, which is quite surprising. Must be quite a defensively weighted Pelipper. But now we bring in the Cradily. We called it, it's just a Weather Ball, because obviously still a Hurricane will be doing a lot to us. They're going for the Weather Balls rather than going for the Hurricane. But then they make a nice swap into the Registeel, which forces us to use our last shield. But we're just going to now commit to that Bullet Seed farm down, which is going to give us a ton of energy. We've got back-to-back moves ready to go against the Pelipper. We go straight for a Grass Knot, which would probably KO. Yeah, definitely would KO from this range. We actually built up to a Stone Edge because we got a bit nervous, but we still went for the Grass Knot anyway because we were just being pussies. But anyway, the Pelipper goes down. We take the win once again with the rank 1 Cradily. You're an absolute unit, becoming one of my favourite Pokemon to use in Go Battle League very, very quickly. So then we go into the next one. We've got another Pelipper lead. So this time we actually decide to stay in, and we're going to let them hit us with a Weather Ball and then probably dip, I believe. So we go into the Lycanroc now, and then make an instant swap out into Escavalier, which isn't the best, but we can still threaten them with this Stone Edge here, expecting them to commit a shield because this is definitely going to take them out, but they let it go through, which is absolutely nuts. So the Armoured Snail getting absolutely flattened by the Rock type, and in comes Pelipper. Can we get up to a Stone Edge? We actually tried to overfarm there and threaten them so they would get rid of their energy. Could have gone for the Psychic Fangs, but we just wanted them to actually dispel that. So now we're going to come in with the Cradily, and they go straight for a Weather Ball. Not building up to the Hurricane are these opponents, because obviously I think it's a neutral move, but I still would build up to the Hurricane. Even though the Weather Ball is going to be chipping into us, but we are just so thick, we probably can take another 2. So now a Magnezone comes in, so we make that swap into Swampert, and this is looking absolutely juicy. They didn't build up to a Wild Charge. We know it's just a Mirror Shot, which still does get us quite low, but we knew we could survive it. And now a Hydro Cannon is going to be doing a lot of damage to them, and we should be able to actually Mud Shot down after the one Hydro Cannon. Shows how glassy Magnezone is in Great League. So now we go for a Hydro Cannon against the Pelipper, which from this range is going to do a lot of damage, so they do commit a shield. And we've got back-to-back Grass Knots once again to go against the Pelipper. We are going to take the win with the Cradily. This time we do just go for the Stone Edge, just for the complete overkill, and say, get the hell out of here, you piece of shit. I fucking hate Pelipper. It does my absolute nut in. It's always my nemesis in Open Great League. Well, it was a few seasons back. It's not as common these days. Into the next one, absolute nightmare lead with the Ferrothorn. We're actually just going to stay in. We do sneak through a Mud Shot, which I guess is well, I guess that's a positive, you can say. So Power Whip definitely shielded up because that's going to be killing about 4 Swamperts. Now we go for that Hydro Cannon bait, and if they don't shield this up, we're definitely going to be quitting because it's going to be game over. But luckily they do take the bait, which is absolutely perfect. What we're going to do now, we've got a ton of energy, so we're not going to let it go down with all that energy. We're going to go for a second bait, and it's just so risky at this point. Do they commit the shield? They do, but I don't think we're going to make it to an Earthquake. Well, just before we get to the Earthquake, we just chicken out and throw the Hydro Cannon, and they made a swap into Jellicent. So we do a bit of chip, but that's not the best. We bring it in Cradily now, and yes, this is looking pretty dicey. What we're going to do is build up to 2 moves in case they bring the Ferrothorn back in, and we should just be able to do that before they get to a Bubble Beam. Why are we over farming? Oh my god, that is painful to watch back. Why are we over farming so much? We was at 100 energy anyway, so we've just taken a debuff and extra damage for absolutely no reason. Go for that Grass Knot, which is going to be taking them out, and really hoping there's someone else in the back that the Ferrothorn... Oh, God. Can't even say my words. I'm so disappointed by that. Here comes Lycanroc now. They've got Lucario in the back, so things are just looking from bad to worse. Go for all the Psychic Fangs, which is going to get them low. We can't counter them down, so we make a swap into Swampert and eat the move, but it isn't going to matter. This is game over. We've completely mucked it up, and we back out like the angry trainer should. But at least we're losing to incompetence and not just fucking lag. So into the last battle of the video, and it's the Nightmare lead once again. This time we're actually leading Cradily, and we've got Quagsire on the team. So God knows what's going to happen in this battle, because I can't remember at all. But this whole team is weak to Ferrothorn once again, even more weak than it was before. Oh, that's it. I left this in because of this lag. This lag was just something else. So there's some delicious lag, and we just quit because the Stone Edge does no damage at all. What a joke this game is. It's so fun, guys. Anyway, I haven't shown you any shinies recently, so these are the shinies I got from GoFest. Nearly every single one that was one that I already had from Community Day. Thank you very much, Niantic. At least we got a shiny Binacle, and we did get the Axew, so that's a saving grace at least. Played the whole second day, only got one shiny, completed total rip-off. I remember seeing the videos from GoFest back in the day with people popping shinies left, right, and centre. We did get a shiny Shadow Cubone, which is amazing. Been looking for a shiny Cubone for years. Finally got the Shadow. Absolutely hyped about that. And then it took me about 100 stops to finally get a shiny Cranidos. Don't know why it was so hard for me to get one, but I was happy that I finally got that. Thank you so much for checking out the video. I really appreciate it. Please smash the like button. I'll catch you in the next one. Stay angry, trainers.